2, 1. Let's go. Welcome to the Fiction Addiction Podcast, a podcast where we go one-on-one with fiction creators, such as authors, filmmakers, actors, songwriters, and more. Each episode, we get the inside scoop on our guests' creative process, the ups and downs of their industries, and our guests also give out tips and tricks that help them become successful. And now, let's jump into the episode with your host, Chris C.L. Lowry.
All right. Welcome back to the Fiction Addiction Podcast. My next guest is a Cincinnati, Ohio native. She currently resides in Virginia Beach, Virginia. She loves creating stories that are relatable to everyday situations. She writes about topics that have been swept under the rug. One of her many goals is to bring these hidden issues to the forefront and to help people heal. She is also the CEO of Unbottled Visions. Ladies and gentlemen, Patricia Gandy. Patricia, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
So let's jump right into it. How'd you get into writing?
So I have been writing for quite a long time. And basically, I just have been procrastinating getting my book out. And so I just decided no more procrastination and got to it.
So where do you think the procrastination came from?
Life. Life. Yeah, honestly, life. Things getting in the way. But that's basically it.
And what was it when you said, oh, you know what, I'm going to put the procrastination to the side and then I'm going to start on this journey to be a published author?
Basically what happened is I relocated, and this is something I stated that I was going to do. It was one of my goals that I finally stated I was going to get done. And I started to do it. However, I didn't have anyone to assist. So I decided just to do it myself. It was just me. I was just tired of waiting and tired of procrastinating, and just finally got it done.
So how is that? Because I always wondered about when people relocate. How is that? Do you go back and forth on the decision? Although I know you made the decision, but did you go back and forth like, oh, is this something I really wanted to do? And how did you know where did you want to relocate to?
Honestly, I knew I have lived here in Virginia previously when I was younger. And then I just felt like the energy where I was at, I just needed a different energy. And it wasn't a debate. I just honestly one day packed my stuff and left. That was honestly it.
Damn.
With no hesitation or anything. Of course, I have a son. He's 7. And I did speak with his father about it. However, he just thought it was a joke. And then one day I just packed my things and I just left.
So how old was this at the time?
He was 5.
Okay.
He was 5 at the time. He was in school. So I just basically at that time left him with his father for like a month, because school will have been out within a month at that time. And I just left. Yeah, that's just how I did
it. So when you first started writing, what was your niche? Was it short stories? Was it full length? Was it poetry? What was your writing that got you hooked, basically?
When I first started writing, it was actually me being in a poetry club. And from that point on, I was like in elementary school during that time. So from that point on, I would just write everything. I mean, literally everything, no matter what it is. Let someone make me mad, I will write stories about them. Like I have journals that I have found from 96. So I've been writing for a very, very long time. I just that's how I get out my anger, frustration, anything that comes to mind, good, bad, or ugly. Like I just used to write it down. But my struggle was, um, I don't, I didn't edit anything. So I just write it down and that's it. And because of that, me not editing or using, the correct grammar, etc., I feel like that was one of the reasons that held me back as well.
Okay.
Until one day I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it and I'm gonna put it out there and I'll just see what happens from there.
So what do you think is the at that young age, what do you think attracted you to poetry at the time?
It was just at that time, it was just something to do, to stay out of trouble, honestly. Like it was just something to do. It was introduced to me by I believe he was a music teacher, and he asked, he introduced it to a few kids, and from that, I loved it. Like you can make up your own stories, is your truth. No one can alter it. And I continued to write from basically that point on.
Mm. So once you developed your first story, you knew that you decided, hey, I'm gonna publish this one. What was the publishing goal at that time? Like, did you want to go the traditional route? Did you want to always do it independently?
I did not always want to go independently. However, my finances told me otherwise. So every person that I reached out to, I just honestly wasn't able to financially take care of what they were asking for. And I just couldn't understand why would it cost so much for me to give you my work? Because technically, this is my work. I have done everything. I came up with the title, my cover, everything. This is I understand that and then after knowing that I put all this effort into it and I have to pay you so many dollars that it just wasn't adding up so I just decided to do it myself. It just wasn't adding up for me because I didn't understand what I was truly getting out of it. Because it didn't feel that way.
Now break that down a little bit more to like everyone that's listening out there, because obviously there's going to be some people that follow in your footsteps and they're jumping to this journey and they don't understand like the things you've learned over this time. So break that down. What were some of the things they were asking for, and what were some of the numbers they were asking for as well?
Oh, wow. So the numbers, I'm going to give you, the numbers was, I guess depending on the individual, it may not be a lot, but the lowest number that I remember someone telling me that they can do it for was like $2,500.
That's crazy.
$2,500. And I also had someone give me a contract. And in the contract, it was basically to me that they own everything. So I said to them, so what am I getting out of me giving you my story?
Right.
Because this is my life. This is my story. They couldn't really give me anything. Only thing they said, I'll help you promote it. And that was really it. And I'm like, okay. And then they stated, well, I'll help you promote it and I'll get an editor to clean it up for you and everything like that. But really, besides the editing and them promoting it, it wasn't really nothing that I felt like I was getting out of my story. Because also another individual, they said that they will sell it. However, only way I would get benefits from it is if I did my own like events,
right.
etc. So when I sat down and looked at everything that was given to me, how much it was going to cost me to give someone my story to put it out there, I just decided to do it myself. Now, granted, it's not perfect. It's not. I've been through some trials of it, and it's things that I had to clean up. It wasn't easy, but I feel like I learned so much doing it myself instead of just giving it to somebody and then they put their twist on it and it didn't feel real.
Mm. So you said something that stood out throughout that process. Contract. You read that contract and you noticed they was coming for all your your rights. So why was that so important to do? Because I know so many writers that don't read these contracts. I don't know how, but you caught it. So what was one thing you say that is important in terms of these contracts from these publishers?
From the one that I received, what was more important, it was like the portion of the percentage. Like it was like I did all this work, and just because I don't even think they're probably even that big, but because they're, I guess, who they say they are, and they're going to promote it whatever way they state that they're going to promote it. They feel like they basically owned it, and I just didn't understand. If anything, I would give you a percentage for
Right.
promoting it. It's not the other way around. And reading the contract that I was received, after reading the contract, then they wanted to alter it, like, oh no, this was where meant to be for another individual. It was some things that we should have took out, and I'm like, oh no. So yeah,
They
I
trying to
just
change it.
it didn't feel good. Yeah, they wanted, like, once I read it and I was like, did you read this? I mean, does that make sense to you for me to give you this? Like, this is my story. This is about my life. This is not, something that I'm just going to give away to somebody.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's basically what it felt. I just couldn't, honestly, I just did not understand what I was getting out of giving them my story. No one could really help me on that besides telling me that they can, get it on different platforms. And maybe that is the case, but I felt like I was given more than what they would be giving me.
Mm. Now at that time when you were searching around and looking around for the right company to partner up with, what were some of the things you were looking for as a writer?
One thing I really wanted, and it was something that I wasn't going to be able to get, is to actually sit side by side with someone, because I'm more of a hands-on person. And it was like, it wouldn't be that type of situation. So that's another thing why I also decided to do it myself and just go back and forth in my head instead of, give it to somebody. Because I did have someone look at it who wasn't like an individual who was gonna like had a company or anything like that, and just the stuff that they personally altered on their self, I didn't like, because it's like it wasn't me. I didn't feel me in the story, and I wanted everyone to know that it was me.
Mm.
So,
And I think that a lot of writers don't realize that when they do have people review their work or edit their work, I will call it staying true to your writing, staying true to
yes.
your voice within those words. Why was that so important for you?
Because it's my story, and also
Hey.
people can feel you. Like they will feel you. They can actually relate to it. It's my story is a very, I believe, relatable story for a lot of individuals. It's a short story, but I am so amazed by the women and actually older gentlemen who have stated like they wish it was more. And they was like, I just wish you would have gave so much more because I'm going through this situation or this, that, and the third. Um, it really touched people. And if I would have gave it to someone to alter it to make it be like a feel good situation, I don't think that I would get that feedback. Granted, it's not, I ain't making a million copies at this moment, but I have touched individuals, and that's all I wanted to do.
Mm. So, and it's crazy you say that because it was mentioned that you do create stories that are relatable to everyday situations. So think about back from being introduced to poetry and fall in love with that genre. What got you into this style of writing of everyday situations, topics like was mentioned, topics that's under the rug? Why was it so important for you as a writer to touch on topics?
Because people don't want to tell the truth. Yeah, people don't want to tell the truth. And I just feel like, me personally, everybody make mistakes. Everybody make mistakes, and I feel like you can learn from them. So it's no sense of sweeping it under the rug and acting like it don't exist, because eventually, some way, somehow, whatever you're feeling inside is going to come out. So I feel like personally, just I'll allow it to come out in my writing, and hopefully when it does come out, that it'll touch somebody when it does come out. So I mean, and then also it's just been situations that I have been in or been around, or someone close to me have been in, and I just, like, in my head, honestly feel like that is such a good story. Just imagine how many more individuals are going through that situation or been in that situation and want to know a way to get through it, or at least try to find a way to get through the process.
Mm-hmm. So you're the CEO of Unbottled Visions.
Yes.
So tell us what is Unbottled Visions?
Okay, so Unbottled Visions is basically the name of the company that I'm starting up off the ground, and it's just me allowing others to hopefully allow others to tell their story, just to unbottle every, what's inside of them. And that's why I came up with the name, because it's so much that you hold inside. But if you unbottle it and then get it out, that's just what it is.
So what type of stories are you looking to publish, and what type of writers are you looking for to fall under your umbrella?
I would want it to be, like I stated, real life situations, things that people go through, things people are willing to talk about, that, like I stated, and the information you have, that have been swept under the rug. I have 2 other individuals that have some deep stories, and they are willing to come out with it. However, because of, certain, I'm going to say, I guess, family,
Mm-hmm.
you worried about, like, what other people got to say, family, etc. You don't want to, like, pull it out. But I feel like if you get it out, you'll feel much better as an individual. And also it can help somebody else. So with Unbottled Visions, that's my goal. That's honestly going to be my goal, to get whatever it is out. And I have some individuals that I'm working with at this time that have some remarkable stories that I really believe will touch some souls. And it took my short story for them to, actually reach out to me and say that they ready to tell theirs.
So what do you see? Because obviously, there's so many places you can go with your company. You know what I mean? You're talking about you could do visuals for these stories, documentaries, and things like that. What are some of the avenues you think you're gonna take Unbottled Visions besides beyond writing?
My ultimate goal is to get some movies. I can't say too much, but I'll just tell you the title.
Right.
I'll just tell you, you'll have the insight. It's the title. I'm just going to give you the title and you can just run with that. But it's a story that I'm hopefully going to get into a movie. It's called Secretly Grieving. And I promise you, if I can just get it where I need it to get, it's going to be awesome. So my ultimate goal is to, I would want to get like some movies. Also, I think because of the writing, and I feel like writing is healing, I would like to eventually open up a writing center that will have actually yoga and writing, where people can write their stories and then you'll be able to do yoga, because I just feel like yoga calms you.
That's dope.
So that is another thing that I'm really hoping to, get going. Yeah, I really have a lot of ideas and things that I really want to accomplish with Unbottled Visions.
So you published your Unbottled Visions and you published your first story. What was that feeling once you had those books in your hand?
Oh my God. It was so honestly, like, it was so exciting because like I had so many people tell me like it was too short, or they didn't really want to help me because I guess they didn't think that I was serious. I don't know what the case may be, but I knew, yes, because I knew other people who have written books and etc. And then once I told them like this is something I wanted to do, I just haven't had anyone to help me with the process, can you assist me? Or, I mean, depending on what it was, I'm like, I'm willing to pay, blase, blase. And then like they would just make it seem like it was so difficult and it was so this and it was so that, or I just got a lot of not a good experience. So my ultimate goal even is to, help others. I don't want it to be that difficult the way it was presented to me. It's definitely take time. It's definitely time consuming, but if it's something you want to do, I feel like it's not as difficult as others make it seem.
Now, how do you stay, as a writer, how do you stay motivated through those times when you have people saying, you have the naysayers saying, oh no, oh, she's not serious, or it's too short. So how do you stay motivated and push through all that?
Honestly, I have stories come through my head all the time, so I just couldn't listen to anyone else. And honestly, my first story, that Impact of the Unknown Presence, this technically was not the story that I wanted to come out. But just one day, the title and the vibe, and I literally just wrote down everything, and it was there. Like, I have woken up in the middle of the night with like titles of stories, and I have to write it down because this is something I truly love. And I just procrastinated for so long, and I literally have been waking up out of my sleep in the middle of the night. So it just, if it's something you love to do, it's your passion. Eventually, when it's your time to get it done, I feel like you'll get it done. And you just gotta block out people, because some people just don't understand what you're feeling or what it is that you want to do, or they don't understand the passion you have for what it is that you want to do. That's all I can say.
So your story, Impact of the Unknown Presence, and it is obviously is a personal story, your personal story of growing up without a father, and how that experience impacted your choices and decisions as you grew up and as you became a woman and stepped into adulthood. Like, that's deep. So how are you able to because the story is crazy, it's deep, it's crazy, like you said, it is relatable, because we all have either experienced that ourselves or known someone that experienced the similar type of situations, no matter what side they're on. So how was that, knowing first you're going to put yourself in a vulnerable position by sharing your own story, but also it's family involved too. You know what I mean? So sharing their they're not. I don't even want to say versions because sometimes I'll say like this because sometimes family doesn't even know the impact they have on you. You know what I mean? So even for them, they now have to look at themselves in the mirror and think, wow, I didn't even know if she felt that way. So how was that leading up to putting out a story that was going to be so impactful?
You know what? Honestly, at the time when I wrote this story, I didn't think about anybody else. It was all about me because it's my story. So I didn't think about the impact that it was going to have on any of the individuals that's in the story. The only person I really did think about at the time was my mom because she knew that I was going to write the story, but she didn't know what it was going to consist of because no one really did by the title. She was the only person that came to mind. Like anyone else in the story, I really never thought about it. And then also at the time writing the story, like I didn't know that like it was so like emotional or that so many feelings and conversations was going to come up. And when you say family, it's funny how I have family members tell me things about the story that they said wasn't true. And I'm like, so did you live in my house?
Oh, that's crazy.
Was you with me? Did you live in my house? Did you grow up in a house with me? Did you see me on a regular basis? Tell me, where was this individual? Because I want to know.
Right.
And it was all a thought. But you couldn't say, oh, I remember this, and that, because it never happened. So you just assume. But in my story, because of who the individual was, people just assumed that it was in-house, that the person was in-house and that I had this, happy-go-lucky life. But that wasn't the case. But people on the outside, I mean, my grandmother, she even said, I didn't know that. And I'm just like, I'm so confused. Like my mom, since this story has came out, she done had so many discussions with family members. And she said everything she said in her story is true. Like, I don't understand. Where were you guys? Like, they really, right. Like, so because of a person, I think because the person was a well-known individual, they have an image for when they grew up. That is what the people know. They know what the person did as, when they were younger, but they had no clue that the person was never involved in my life. So it's funny, but like I said, I didn't think about anyone else at the time. It never dawned on me like this will affect this person or anything, because it's not like I did it in like a malicious way or anything to that nature. It was just me, my feelings, and what I was going through and things that happened. And I just felt like it should be heard, and hopefully it'll help somebody else, because all that time where I'm thinking and hoping that I have a relationship with that individual, that really wasn't the case. I wound up finding Christ, and that's who's going to always be there and who has always been here. And I just didn't realize that at that time.
Now, did you anticipate or expect that backlash from some of your family members?
I did not. Honestly. Like, I did not, but since I no longer live in Ohio anymore, they don't say much. They're not going to say anything to me pertaining it. However, I would get calls and people would say, I didn't know this or this and that. And it's just, it's more of my mom in a battle with people than me, honestly. Even though it's my story, no one really will approach me and say anything about it. It's more of her in a battle with people, honestly, about what happened. So, yeah.
So for you, was it difficult to write this story because obviously you're going back years and you're digging up emotions and thinking
Mm-hmm.
about them now, and that was kind of like, obviously when you're going through them at that time, it's hard. But I would imagine, even reading it, I would imagine it would be even harder now because you see the outcome of some things. You know what I mean? And some decisions. So what was it difficult for you digging deep like that and opening some of those doors that were been closed?
Honestly, no. The only hard part I'm gonna say that has been going on about it, since it's been out, is me having to read it in front of people. I don't know what that is, but when I read it in front of people, emotions come that I thought like I got rid of or didn't exist anymore. Um,
Really?
yeah, because that's the only time. It's like when people, I didn't think my story was like a sad story. I mean, because people go through it all the time. They grow up without their fathers, they grow up without their mothers all the time. But for some reason, like, individuals, like, it really touched them. I don't know if it because some of the people, they knew me, but even when I spoke at a place where I knew no one, they emotion came out, and that allowed me to have emotions that I didn't even think that I had. I'm like, oh, I'm crying. I ain't never cried before. Like, what is going on? Like, what is going on?
Right.
And no, honestly, at the time, no. Like now, only when I'm in front of people, I guess it's more emotional, but that's a good thing for me because you know it's real and other people can feel it. And that's all I truly want is for you to feel it. And hopefully you can see if you are an individual that is not spending time with your kid or whatever the case may be, maybe it will change your heart or find a way to, get back to that individual.
Now, how has the feedback been from some of the readers? Like you said, people who you don't even know that the story they can relate to. How has it been with their feedback?
It's it's been awesome. Matter of fact, just last week, an older lady from my church, she ordered a book and she wanted me to sign it, and she was like, I read it and I told my sister about it, and she was saying that, and she's really older, and she said that it she didn't have her father growing up, so it had impacted her in a different way because she said that she didn't really have a relationship with her father because her mother kept away her kids from their father. And she said that they had fights all the time in court, but they didn't see it. And she just like hugged me and just, I don't know, this I have gotten so many different stories from individuals, from even guys. Like I had a guy tell me because of my book, he's been trying to bond more with his daughter that's a teenager because she was living out of state actually. And she came back and now she had a kid or whatever. I can't even like, honestly, like pinpoint. It's so many different stories, but they're all surrounding my story, but they have a different twist to it. The thing about it though is that most of them, I'm not gonna say all, but most of the women have like literally stated that they cried. Like I had a lady tell me that she only saw her father twice, once when she was younger and right before he passed away. And she's in her 60s.
Crazy.
So I mean, I just love the feedback. It's just, I just never could imagine that my story, quote unquote, what people say was so short and small, that it actually touched individuals' life. And then I don't know if you got a chance to, read the full story. However, one of the fill-in fathers that's in the story, it touched him, and he had no clue that he had an impact on my life. So,
what's wrong with that chat?
Yeah. So you yes, that was Chad. So Chad, yeah, he was just blown away because he have his own kids didn't even look at him like that. So, which that was another topic because it's like you touched someone else's life, but you didn't even touch your own child life. How does that feel?
That's crazy. That's crazy. And like I'm about to say, I don't even know what would be the psychology behind it. You know what I mean? Only he would know.
I don't.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, like you said, that's a whole nother story.
Like that's a whole nother story, you know.
You got Chad on the Unbottled Visions, man.
You know, that's a possibility because, you know, I still have communications with, actually, I still have communication with every last one of the fill-in fathers, but not my own. So, so that's, you know, that's another story.
Yeah, that be coming soon. Like, you know what I mean? And I see what people are saying. Like, it's so much. It's so much. You want to know more. Like, you know what I mean? Once you read it, and you want to know, like you want to be updated. Like, what's going on now and how have things been now? What is the piece of advice for a young kid growing up with a father that you would give them?
You know, personally, I would say to them that know that it's nothing you have done as a human being, as a child. Is you know, it's not your fault. You can't blame yourself for it, and you cannot control other people's actions. So although it's going to be hard and you may have struggled with it, at the end of the day, the Most High is there to protect you and guide you, and just get on your knees and pray, and you will figure it out. It takes some, you know, longer than others, but you will figure it out. I just don't want anyone to ever beat their self up as to why, or question their self as to why that individual is not involved in their lives, because you can't answer for anyone else's actions. Just know that once you have a child, please think about what you felt and how you felt, and so that you don't make that same mistake. So individuals who grew up without fathers, no matter what it is, because sometimes you do lay with people that you're not compatible with and things don't work out, but you cannot give up on having a relationship with that child at all. It's your duty. It's not for the child to fight to find you, to search for you. You are the parent. You have to take the initiative. But in that process, for that individual who may be going through that, the only thing that I can say is just basically don't blame yourself. Know that you are loved by the Most High, and all you need is His guidance, and you will get through the process.
So what do you think are some of the biggest factors in fathers not being in their children's lives?
I just feel, honestly, see, I don't know what was the factor, honestly, in my situation. I still don't know to this day. I haven't got an answer or whatever the case may be. And far as other individuals, people that I know personally, what I see is honestly just feeling that the mother always got it. Honestly, I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you what would be that factor. I know certain individuals do have relationships where they're battling issues with the parent. So that can be an issue, but it's a lot of people who just think life is forever and they got time to do this and that, but that's not the case. We only here for a short period of time. So while you're here, you should make that time. It's people just supposedly are busy. If that's all I can see, I don't see busy doing nothing. Honestly, I don't know. Because it's a lot of individuals that I know, and it's like, what are you doing that you can't spend an hour?
Right.
Like, I don't know. I guess lifestyles. Um, Me personally, I don't know to this day what it was. Um, I never was received that answer. Um, for other individuals that surround me, I don't know. Because I know some good fathers, I know some great ones, but then I know some that you're not doing anything. You rather be in the streets or, just busy doing nothing. Honestly, I don't know what that is. And then you do have individuals. Matter of fact, I had a conversation with one of my cousins who was saying that his son is about to be like, I believe, like 16 years old, and he don't have a relationship with him. And so I asked him and I said, so what have you done to, you know, get to know him or whatever? And he said, well, his mom moved so much. But I just personally feel like if you really, truly wanted a relationship with your kid, you're going to find a way.
Right.
And some people just feel as though finance is all they need to, as long as they send child support, that's their presence, and it's not. So it's a lot of factors, honestly, that can play into it. But from what I see personally, I don't see it being a factor as an individual can't do it. It's just that they don't want to, honestly.
So on the flip side, obviously you're a mother now, and your mother raised you and two siblings by herself. So as a mother now, one, like I can only imagine the amount of respect you have for her now doing it with three. You know what I mean? So what is that like now?
Every day. every day. Cause I'm like, how did you do it? Like by yourself. Like, and only reason why I'm struggling like more now because I relocated. So his father is not here. It's not like we're on bad terms or anything. We talk daily. He has a relationship with his son. He take care of him like, financially, right. But he's not here often. So he does catch flights. He does make time, but he definitely talks to his son every day. But doing that by yourself, like no financial assistance, no anything with three, and she was young doing it, I couldn't imagine. I just couldn't. I just can't imagine. But I definitely, and as a child, you don't know, you don't understand, and you don't respect it. But when you get grown and you have your own, whether it's one or not, you would definitely cherish that because it's a struggle with one. And even though his dad is in his life and he know his dad and he see him enough, it's still a struggle when you're in totally different state. It's a struggle because I'm a single mom because I have to take him everywhere he needs to go. You don't have that other parent here to take him to a game or take him to kids night out like this past Friday. Right. It's just a lot of things. So just imagine doing it with three. And in my mom case, it wasn't even just her three. Because her older sister wound up passing away. So she wound up having her three on top of her three.
Oh, wow.
And then not only that, have another sister who was on drugs and having her son. So it was a time where she had all the kids.
Wow.
Doing it herself. So I just personally couldn't imagine being her, period. Because one is a headache, so yeah.
Yeah, so times that by feeding all y'all. I don't know how you mind fed all y'all. Like, what the-
Yeah, because, yeah, that's a lot. That was a lot. Because I just honestly, it's funny you mentioned that about feeding, because I literally just had this conversation with his dad yesterday. How I went to the grocery store on, what was it, Thursday? And on Friday, it felt like I didn't do anything. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
why did you eat a whole bag of donuts? Like, why did you eat a whole bag of grapes in one day? Like,
Yep.
what is, and like, I'm just like, this could last me for a week. Like, it's a lot. Like, so just imagine feeding more than one
No,
individual.
absolutely.
My hats go off to, all the women, all the single moms that's out there with definitely more than one. Cause it's hard with one taking care, of your kids, cause it's a struggle. Yeah.
So, being a single mother, and obviously you mentioned that his father was in his life, but still just handling all the aspects of being both parents physically, and handling all the responsibilities physically. What what advice would you give to other single mothers that will keep them from from going crazy, basically? You know what I mean? And because sometimes it does get rough. So, what advice would you give them to push through those times?
Oh, you know what? My son, he is my push through,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. Cause it has been moments where I feel like, oh, I'll just move back. 'Cause, his dad has, like stated, you should just come back here. Things will be, good. It's always with men, it's the financial that they look at, but that's not enough. It's the physical presence. As a woman, you just need like a time away from the kids sometimes. Like, they don't understand that.
Right.
So like, for the single moms, I mean, I really, honestly, you just have to take that moment. But I love my son to death. So like, it doesn't even matter what it is. Like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And you just have to, honestly, you got to push through. I know it's hard and it can be a struggle, but I love my son so much. I wouldn't change it for a world. And anybody that knows me, they can tell you they couldn't even, I didn't imagine having a kid at all. But since I had my son, like, it has changed my life tremendously. So I just would say it's going to be tough, but you just have to push through and just, like I always say, the Most High, he got you. I know it takes time and the struggle is real, but you will definitely push through it.
Mhm. So, how important was religion, and how important is religion in your life, and was it in your life growing up?
So growing up, I didn't really have any type of religion. Granted, yeah, I went to church a few times when I was, a kid with my grandmother, and we only went because we wanted to go out to eat after. We didn't know what it was about. We didn't understand anything. And it wasn't until I became an adult that I just felt like it had to be something else. And I was led that way. No one just like showed me the way. I was led that way. So for me and my household now, it's very important that my son understand. I mean, I'm not going to force any religion on if I ever have a kid, doubt it. However, I wouldn't force it on my son or anyone else. But growing up, when he gets grown, if he decide that he want to do something else, that will be up to him. But right now, as long as he in my household, he's going to get up every morning like he will tomorrow morning. And you're going to pray every morning. You're going to, understand certain things that I feel like every individual will understand, but it wasn't pushed on me as a child, religion at all. It was just something that I had, I was led to, and I would say like in my 20s. So yeah, it wasn't, I can't tell you I can tell you the moment that I did get saved, but I can't tell you the moment what was leading me to that direction, because I honestly don't know at that time.
So your stories, your story, you published the book. You actually got into the library, and I saw a moment online where all of the one book was checked out of the library. How was that feeling when you got
Yes, I was excited. That was the most, oh my God, I was so excited. Um, because I had gave it to them, you fill out this form and they got to read it or whatever the case may be. I don't know, like their full process, but I haven't heard anything back. So one day I just like decided to, the day I thought about it actually is the day I received the email and said, "Oh yeah, your book is in the library already." And I'm like, "Really?" So me and my son and I had one of my girlfriends, her child with me. I was like, "Let's go to the library. Let's see if my book there." And they have a sign which says new new authors. And I asked the lady, I said, "Can we see how many was checked out?" Because I gave the library 4 and I only see 1. And she was like, "Oh yeah, they're checked out." And I was like, "Really?" And I was just like so excited. I was so excited, me and my son, and we just was taking selfies, and it was good. I was just so excited because that was a moment for me.
So because you also are a speaker as well, right?
Yes, I have done multiple speaking engagements.
So how are those? How do you prepare for your speaking engagement?
Um, how do I prepare? I feel like it's really not a preparing moment because it's all about the book and it's coming directly from my heart. So I really don't have like a prepared process. Um, it's just the questions that people wind up asking me. I'm just hoping I'm giving them the right answer that they're looking for. That's even,
Right.
even with like, the multiple podcasts that I have done. I don't write things because I don't want it to be filtered. I want it to be honest. I want it to be real. I want the people to understand this is a true story. This is what it is. I don't want it to be fabricated in any type of way. So I don't have a way that I actually prepare, which I have had individuals like, "We need to sit down so we can, help you do this." And I'm definitely, because it's all new to me. So I'm definitely, going to have those sit downs with those individuals eventually, and maybe they'll give me, some moves or process or whatever. But at this moment, the speaking engagement that I have done, I just basically go and they ask me what they asked me, and it's mainly about the book. So it's really nothing I think that I really got to prepare for. Because it's my story. It's not, it's my story. It's my life. I know everything about it. You asked me a question about me, and I'm going to tell you. And hopefully, it's something you want to hear.
So what's next for Impact of the Unknown Person?
I have a reading and a speaking engagement in Williamsburg, Virginia. I have a few things coming up for Impact of the Unknown Presence. However, one thing I do want to say is when you mention having stories swept under the rug, all the stories would not be the kind of swept under the rug like Impact of the Unknown Presence. Because I have another book that's coming out and it's called Mistress by Default. So that's another subject people are aware of. And it sometimes gets swept under the rug as well.
You ain't got to spoil it first. You got to break that down with that title. So when that one dropped?
Probably this summer. Hopefully this summer. Mistress by Default. Hopefully the goal is this summer for it to come out, or maybe sooner. But yeah, it's definitely in the works.
What's that gonna be? It obviously without giving us the story, but what's that gonna be about?
Did you hear the title? Mistress by Default?
Listen, I'm trying to figure out what the default.
Okay, so let's break it down. The default is men, they lie. And you can't blame, like, I know women who've been in those situations always want to attack the other woman, but men, they don't tell the full story. They don't tell the woman about this and that. They don't even, some individuals have not even stated that they have a significant other or anything. And they live double lives. And that's what it is.
You're gonna be out there stirring up trouble with that.
I don't want to stir up no trouble, but you just need to be honest. Just be honest. Just be honest.
So what besides that one, what can we expect from Unbottled Visions?
Like I stated earlier, my ultimate goal is, I have a few other individuals that I'm working with some books, and then like I stated, I also want to get in the works the writing center with the yoga. I want to do that, and then Bottled Visions. I'm working on a lot of projects, and hopefully you'll see a movie soon as well. But I definitely will, keep you up to date with what I got going on, because I've been having a lot of things trying to block me. But like I said, I'm highly favored, so I'm gonna keep pushing through.
Man, you gotta stay focused, stay on the journey, stay on the path. That's it.
Yeah, that is the truth. I'm been focused, and I know you mentioned that you saw that on my social media about the library. That's another thing I'm, trying to work on, like being more social present is what they state. But I focus so much like by myself when I'm writing. I be in my zone, so I don't have a time to, you know, I guess post as I should. So that's something I guess I need to work on as well.
It's crazy because I talk with a bunch of writers, because like sometimes we aren't, as writers, we aren't out there like that to be, you know what I mean? To be all in the limelight and be all social. So it's such a challenge for a lot of us.
It has definitely been a challenge for me. Like, you may see me post for a little second, but then when I get in my mode, like I'm strictly in my little hole in my little room, and I be on my laptop, and I'm doing what I need to do. But then I got some people sending me emails like, "Oh, I haven't seen you," and da 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 da. And I know that's the way that you're supposed to get more individuals and viewers. But yeah, that's a struggle for me. I'm working on that. And I do feel like when I do show up places and do things, people feel my presence. So I'm not really focused so much on social media these days. I know I need to be according to others.
Because going to others. Do you think that's going to be, because obviously we have so much discussion now as a society of the impact, the negative impact of social media and people being so addicted to it. Do you think that's going to change soon? Because it seems like it's not. Like, I don't know.
I don't think so that it's going to change soon. But I remember the time when people didn't have social media. And so the hustle and bustle outside of that was more important, but now it's more of a social media thing because I have other individuals, I guess, stated to me that your book is really a good book, but you don't do this and you don't do that. And I can only do so much by myself because it's just me and I'm just getting things the way I feel like I have to take my time because I feel like I rushed on a few things. So now I'm trying to take my time, make sure that I can, go back and, revamp some things, of course. But I'm still struggling with the social media thing, honestly.
So you mentioned crawling in your hole and when you get the writing, you got any weird writing setups, man? Like, do you like some people
Do you
got
really want to
weird?
know?
Yes.
Do you really want to know? So I don't think it's weird, but so I have a writing closet. So my walk-in closet, I sit there and I turn the lights off, but I have like these lights, these little lights, like, like Christmas lights, but they're not Christmas lights. They're clear and they go around the top of the wall. And so I sit and I write like that sometimes, most of the time. So
It's a closet?
I shut literally. It's literally. I shut my room door. I shut my closet door, and I'm in my closet. And my kid would be like, "Mom," knocking on the door, and I lock it so he can't just walk in my room and then walk in my closet. No, he can't just do that.
Yo.
So like, I don't think it's weird, but yes, I have a space like to get me in a zone, and
That's crazy.
I can be there for hours and find myself sleep in the closet. Like,
Sleeping?
honestly.
What the hell? So what is it
Oh my
about
God.
the closet that makes you like want to be there?
I don't know.
Yo, that's crazy as hell. You can even get like a room that you block off or something like that, but why the closet though? Like,
I don't know. I honestly don't. I have no idea. That's just what I guess it's the only place that I feel like no one can get me, I guess, or disturb me. Like, I can't have any disturbance because I'm in my closet. No one can get in here or anything. I don't know. I like writing in there, and I got it set up. I got my little lights around the wall, and I got like, yeah.
lights.
I got my little setup in my closet.
That's crazy. Now, do you write or do you type? Like, are you handwriting or are you typing on the computer in there?
I really love. You know what? I double work myself because I do everything right.
Oh my God.
And then I'll go back and type it.
Why?
Because I don't. I know I'm working on just typing, but thoughts come to my head so quick. I don't always have my laptop. So I'm constantly writing. Like, I have like 3 journals in my purse on a daily. Like, I don't know. I just love the paper and the pencil. I just love it. And so I'm working on that as well because people get like, you double working yourself, blah, blah, blah. But for some reason, like, it feels good if I just, like, it's been times, I definitely get on my laptop a lot now. But it's definitely been times where I would grab a notebook and I'll just go in my closet on the floor and I'll just sit there and I would just write and write and write and write. And then my kid will come and find me. If I leave my door unlocked, he'll come in there and he'll just lay on the side of me. And while I'm writing, or either if I'm typing at the time, he'll just fall asleep right next to me and we'll wind up asleep. And he'll wake up like, come on, get up, go get in the bed.
Right.
I don't know. That's just my space. That's just my space. Don't judge me. That's my space.
Too late. So now you gotta actually break this closet down some more for me, man. I can't.
Okay, so listen. The closet has a space, and I have pillows that
It's a
there
walk-in
where
closet?
I'll right, and yeah, I mean, just normal. It's like your normal walk-in closet. You know, I got my shoes and stuff, blah blah blah. But at the top is my little lights. Is where I got it going across.
That's crazy.
You know, like this. Yeah, I have my lights going across. Maybe for you, I'll one day, maybe I'll open up my closet.
Yeah,
I'll
definitely
open
gotta
up my
show everybody
closet and
that
post
joint.
it.
Yeah. People gonna be like, "What the hell?" Everybody gonna want to see it.
Maybe
You gonna have people in there doing like a closet challenge, writing their books in the closet, man. That's gonna be crazy.
Oh, look, there you go. You just did the closet challenge. The writing the writing closet challenge.
But it gotta be the right setup though, man. Don't be out here. You gotta have everything legit, everything set up the way you do.
Right. You gotta have the pillows, you gotta have the lights at the top.
Man, you gotta have the right closet. You gotta have a walk-in. Don't be in no janitor joint.
No, you have to have the right. You gotta have it now. I don't want you going no little closet just with a little door and you just hang. You got a little hanger. No, it ain't that type of closet.
Right, you gonna have people in there claustrophobic trying to write a book. They gonna be stuck.
No, not that. Not that kind of closet. It's a walk-in closet. You got plenty of space. You can lay down in it. Like you can lay down in the closet if you wanted to.
Be out there and sleep.
So we can fit in there. So
now, before we get out of here, tell everybody where they can find you, get in touch with you, and where they can find your books at.
So you can find my book at www.unbottledvisions.com. It's also available on Amazon. You can find me on social media at Unbottled Visions on Instagram as well as Facebook. You can also find my book at the Virginia Beach Public Library. It's in there as well. And you can also just contact me. I have books on hand daily, so I can ship them to you. So yeah, that's where you can find me, unbottledvisions.com.
All right, this was the Fiction Addiction Podcast, and this was Patricia Gandy, Unbottled Visions. Thank you so much for jumping into the podcast and sharing so much with us. We appreciate having you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This was the funnest podcast that I've been on. So I love it. Thanks.
Thank you for joining us on the Fiction Addiction Podcast. Make sure you visit fictionaddictionpodcast.com for links on everything we talked about today, as well as awesome resources, additional tips, and fiction addiction merchandise.